we finally had a chance to take a look at the final version of Dinner Party, a VR movie about the alien abduction story between Betty and Barney Hill. We got our first glimpse of it at the Engadget experience in November, but now the special effects are done, and there's a whole second half to the story that relies a lot on CG and visual effects. If you haven't heard about this story before, it's basically the founding alien abductions tale. In 1961, Betty and Barney Hill were driving around in upstate New York, and they believe they were abducted by aliens. Obviously, we don't know what actually happened there, but both people seem to think that this is an experience that they actually lived through. The film uses some actual recordings that the couple made while talking to a hypnotherapist, which helped them recount the experience, at least as they felt it. And what's really interesting is that both of them experienced this whole situation very differently. Betty remembers it as something that's very positive and life-affirming for her, whereas Barney tells the story of almost feeling ripped apart at the cellular level. The actual VR experience is pretty cool too. There's a whole table set up and you sit alongside other people going through this wearing Gear VRs. You're not actually experiencing it synchronized all together, although I think that would be a good improvement, but it gives you a sense of you actually being at a dinner party with this couple. For the most part, Dinner Party is a 360-degree video experience, but what's really cool is that the camera actually moves around, which is something some VR directors try to stay away from because it tends to make people sick. And there are also some experiences later on that are CG, where you're still sitting in one place, but you're free to look around and just take in as much of the environment as you can. There's no interaction, you're kind of just sitting back and taking it all in, but honestly, I'm not sure if that would make this experience any better. The big addition for Tribeca is a second half of the film, which gives us kind of an inside view of how they may have actually gone through this experience. That whole section of the film is pretty much all CG, but it's really assisted by some great sound design. It seems to be following a recent trend in Hollywood movies where the score and the sound mix are kind of combined to create a single experience. In Dinner Party, it's kind of unsettling and disturbing at times. There's some backwards wordplay happening from some famous speeches, and in general, it does a good job of making you feel like you're in an alien environment, or at least experiencing something that's not from this world. Dinner Party doesn't have any release date yet, but the producers kind of see it as a pilot episode for a VR series that explores some modern, scary stories. It's definitely one of the more polished VR experiences we've seen, with some great acting, solid visual effects, and it doesn't make you sick at all. It's just a really cool, unique experience that you can only really have in VR. Stay tuned to Engadget.com for more news from Tribeca 2018.